Kyle, I've discussed with you the idea of intercession spending. Is that true?
Yes, you have.
And I'm thinking if we had a three-week intercession, you might be able to come in for 2 weeks, and maybe during those 2 weeks you could establish contacts with parents and students who might not be passing your English class. And wait here, I mean, look, it's 7 o'clock in the morning right now. There we got a couple kids making up some essays. Would you be willing to come in and maybe have the students come in and do some extra work so they pass your class each quarter?
I would be in full support of the intercession and coming in and getting paid for it, because we're not getting paid now.
You're not just saying this because I'm holding a camera in front of your face?
Of course not.
And then,
I do truly support it.
And then the afternoon?
Yes.
Would be sort of like
collaborative planning, hopefully, among staff, or creating connections with community members or parents.
Would you call in sick?
No.
What is your administrative duty here beyond teaching?
I'm the community relations director.
So give me a couple things that you do.
Parent newsletter, governance council, things like that.
Didn't you go visit some middle schools too?
Yes, I'm trying to get connections with middle schools around the Juneau area.
Do you think you could do that during the intercession planning?
I definitely could.
Okay, thanks. What type of duties do you do besides teach?
Head of the discipline committee.
Great. So if you had some extra time over the intersessions to come in and get some of that paperwork done, or maybe even do some credit enrichment type activities, professional development type stuff, would you come in?
I would absolutely come in. I would love to.
If, of course, that's assuming that you were paid for it, right?
Well, in the event that I wouldn't get paid for it, I would still be coming in for extra hours to just to get classwork done, paperwork, things of that nature.
Hey, this is our MRP teacher. She's doing language right now.
How do you spell admits? David, how do you spell admits? I. Very good. Make sure you have admits. She put admits to a crime.
Roger, I haven't coerced you in any way to give me the answers you're about to give me, have I?
No.
Okay, so you're familiar with my idea of intercession spending?
Yes.
Okay, and so, hey, well, here's one of my questions. Let's say we didn't have any money to spend for these intercession ideas. Do you think you might come in anyways, maybe not for the whole time, but a couple times? Without getting paid for it?
Yes.
Maybe? You might?
Yeah.
Okay, but if you were to get paid for it, there might be more of an incentive for you to come sort of every day.
Yes,
Possible.
sure.
Okay. Do you think you might establish contacts with parents and students to get them to, kids that are maybe struggling in your class, to get them to
Absolutely,
to,
yes.
to come in for a couple hours and do some more work?
Yes.
And then the rest of the day you spend it maybe planning with your coworkers and that kind of stuff?
That sounds like it'd be a good plan.
First of all, do you do anything other than teach here at Community High School? And if so, what?
Well, I do guidance things. I also do recruitment things. For example, this Saturday I'm planning to show up on a radio program to promote our school. I do all sorts of things to try to motivate students to do better academically and attendance-wise. So I'm planning a program of incentives for kids that have the best attendance.
So you're the director of student services.
Yes, I guess that's
right?
what you'd call me. Yes.
Something like that. So okay, a couple questions for you. Hey, if we had intercessions, would you come in if you didn't get paid for them?
Yes, I'm already planning on coming in during spring break, and I don't believe I get paid for that.
Okay, so let's say you were able to get paid for these intercession type times, you would definitely come in. Do you think that you'd be able to A, get some of the work done beyond teaching, or B, do you think that you would be able to get some kids to come in and do some credit recovery type stuff?
Well, I think I'd be able to do both. I already have kids that are begging me to come in on Saturdays, and I was able to do that a little bit this year, but because kids are going to come during spring break so they can pass their portfolio, and I'll come in just to do a lot of the things that I can't get done during a full teaching load.
So you think maybe this 9-week on 3 weeks to get caught up, whether it's for the teachers or for the students getting paid for it, you would be there?
Oh yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, Matt, can I talk to you in the hall?
Sure.
Hey, Matt, you're familiar with this idea of intercession planning and credit kind of recovery type
I'm
things, right?
quite familiar with
So
it.
let's say that you weren't paid for those 3 weeks. Do you think you'd come in anyways? Be honest.
I would come in a couple times if I
At the
wasn't paid.
most, right?
Yes.
You're a guy who
Once or twice a
appreciates
week.
your time for yourself. Great. Now, what if we had a pool of money to pay you for 2 weeks to come in during these intercessions so that you can work with your peers and maybe even some students to help them get caught up? What do you think about that?
I would come in every day if I was paid for those 2 weeks to work with my students who need to cover their credits.
You wouldn't call a sub?
Oh, call sub? Why? Why would I call sub? No, I would not call sub.
And then
I
let's-
come to school every day as it is. So
Let me ask you one more question.
Sure.
Do you have any other administrative type duties besides teaching?
besides teaching, yeah, I'm on the discipline team. So I work with discipline, clear the hallways. I'm on the, what's the board called? The building council committee, dealing with athletics as well. So a couple other administrative duties.
I'm a director of student affairs, so I plan events for students, and I allow students to plan events for themselves and come up with ideas for things they might want to do. I also do a lot of after-school tutoring and tutoring during lunch.
Think that if you were not paid, do you think that you might, and I want you to be honest here, do you think that you might come in over that 3-week break a handful of times, 5 times, 10 times, 0 times, to come in and maybe get some of that planning done or some of that work done? Not paid.
Well, with math, you kind of got an advantage in that you don't really need a lot of raw materials to teach a lesson. So I might not come in so much for the planning, but I'm sure I would come in for other reasons. Other teachers are meeting about important things. We're doing enrollment, we're doing recruitment, we're doing something like that. So I could definitely see myself.
So you might come in
coming
for a meeting if we decided to come in for a
Oh,
meeting.
yeah.
What about the other side of your job, like the student affairs type thing? You think you might be able to
That would be
get
very
some
helpful.
some time to plan those events?
Also, you know, little things like doing a display case, things like that.
Yeah.
I can invite students to come in during that day, and they can do that display case, and they won't be losing any school time with that.
All right, so let me ask you the next question. Let's say we were to pay you
Mm-hmm.
for 2 weeks, two of those 3 weeks. And I'm also thinking, during those 2 weeks, let's say you have kids who are not passing math,
Mhm.
and they need to pass.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to pass math. Do you think that you'd be willing to organize with the students and with the parents to have them come in for a couple hours over a week or two to help them get caught up? Is that something you'd be interested in doing?
Well, I need to know more, but I'm thinking I have a couple questions. Now, I know we have several break periods during the quarter. Every break period, would we be doing this? So it'd be 1 week and then 2 weeks on.
Yeah.
If I got paid, I'd be a lot more likely to do it.
Okay.
I'm pretty dedicated,
Mhm.
but being here 2 weeks off schedule,